Well, good morning, everybody. Here's Breakfast on the Bay. Today, we want to thank the human being for breakfast. Excellent cinnamon rolls. I've never had those before, and I'm probably going to go back a bunch of times more to get them for all my family. Thank you. So today we're talking about mastering money matters. So this is a really important thing for a lot of these small businesses, and I'd like to recognize some of our board of directors. If you're here from the chamber board of directors, raise your hand or stand up. Okay. Good, guys. Thank you. Thank you for your service. And then do we have any council members today? No. All right. Well, I was at council. Yeah. It was I was there until what night? How late were we there till? 10:15. Yeah. So I guess they're still sleeping. Okay. So Mastering Money Matters. A seminar on finance, strategic planning, and the power of LLCs. Today we're going to have speakers, Jody, 5 minutes each, and then we'll have a 3 minutes for Q&A. So I'll try and give you a little prompt as you're getting to the 5 minutes. And I would like to start it off with Steve Ocheltree, and he's the Ocheltree CPAs and business counselors. So let's welcome Steve.
A little higher. Oh, it'll pick me up. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Steve Ocheltree. And as Cherise said, my business is Ocheltree CPA. My business partner and my wife, both the same person, is right here. Should have been like Wheel of Fortune, call her my amazing wife. Everybody uses an adjective when they introduce their spouse. So we're in Fresno. We're in the process of moving our practice over here to Morro Bay. So that'll be happening very soon, and we'll be selling our house there, closing our office there, opening an office here. So we're excited. We started moving here. We got a house here, and we thought, oh, we're going to set a 12-year plan for migrating to Morro Bay. That shortened very quickly. The magic of Morro Bay just drew us in. We have to live here. So let's move our business as well. So we're talking about money matters, LLCs, business entities. I want to talk to you about business entities a little bit. That's a big question that I get asked a lot. And okay, audience participation. Now, how many sole proprietors do we have here? Mostly sole proprietors. How about people who have partnerships? A couple of partnerships. LLCs? Some LLCs. Corporation. S corporation? Okay, how about C corporations? One or two C corporations. As you can see, there are a lot of different types of entities. And what I hear from people, there's a lot of street knowledge out there. People say, oh, I heard S corporations are the best. I have to be an S corporation. Well, any of those that I just listed are the best. The best is what is right for your business, and what is right for your plan, and who you want to bring into partnership with you, and how you want to structure it, and how you want to get paid. I formed a corporation for us years ago because I was sick of saving up for every quarterly estimated tax payment. And I wanted to put myself on a salary and have the taxes withheld. That's why I formed a corporation. It's tiresome. Most of you are sole proprietors are doing that. You're saving up every quarter. You have this big payment you have to make, and it's very frustrating. But the power of LLCs was one of our titles. LLC is a cute little item that they created. It's called a limited liability company. A lot of people say it's a corporation. It's actually a company. And it gives you liability protection from outside creditors. But as a business, you always have to have insurance. Don't try to hide behind a corporation and say, well, I don't need insurance then. I've seen some people do that. That'll fall apart if you get accused of something or you get sued or whatever. If you don't have insurance to protect creditors or people from liability, then that's going to fall apart. But an LLC, the neat thing about it is you could form an LLC quickly, easily. It's very cheap to form it, and then you can decide later, I want to operate as an LLC, as a sole proprietor, or as a partnership, or as a corporation, or as an S corporation. You can actually take that LLC and operate in any of those types of entities. And so you have a lot of flexibility and a lot of power with that while still getting liability protection. How are we doing on time? Ooh, we're moving along. Okay. So the beauty of that is how simple it is to create and how much flexibility we have. Let me talk to you a bit about my philosophy about accounting. Business management. Accounting sounds boring. Business management. Now I have a CPA firm. How come they don't do any TV series about CPAs? I am so disappointed. I mean, they did LA Law. I was trying to promote one called LA CPA, but it didn't get any traction. I don't know why. Anyway, my philosophy about business management and accounting, I promote this a lot. I believe it's very important for you to know at all times how your business is doing. I see people who save up and they say, I just couldn't get around to doing the books. I'll do them at the end of the year. And then they find out at the end of the year that they were losing money, or they could have changed the way they were spending or the way they budgeted and could have turned things around. But they didn't find out because they pushed the bookkeeping off till later. I had one person who, I call this being penny wise and pound foolish. The guy was making a lot of money, had 5 stores, wanted to sell the stores, and they were worth quite a bit, but business was struggling a little bit, so he thought he'd wait to sell them and try to get them, bolstered up a little bit. Then he decided, because business was struggling a little bit, that he would take over the accounting himself. So he ended up locking himself in his office at home and doing the accounting instead of having my firm do it, rather than being out at the stores, driving his managers, marketing the business. And he ended up selling the business, all 5 stores, for $750,000. $150,000 a store, when they were worth about that each store when he started this trend. But he thought, oh, I'll save a few bucks on accounting, and it just destroyed his business. And that's what each of you needs to think about: keeping good records, keeping on top of it. If you're not good at keeping records, hire somebody to do it. There are people like us that are great at doing it and will give you regular feedback and tell you what you have going on and where you need to make changes, or what suggestions we have for you. The other thing is getting out and finding out what you do best. I bet managing your business and driving what your business does and promoting it to the community is what you do best. Focus on that, and find other people to surround you who can provide those essential functions, a team for you who will partner with you, so you can focus on driving business and making money. That's your goal, right? So how are we doing on time? It's going fast. We're at about, yeah, let's do questions. Do we have any questions? Yes, in the back. For you Zoomers out there, when do we plan on opening in Morro Bay? We're actually open now because we're here 4 days a week, 5 days a week, actually, but we're working out of our home. But we are accepting clients, and we're starting to do taxes and books for people. We will, the long game is about 1.5 years from now is when our lease is up in Fresno. So next summer, our lease will be up and we'll open an office here. But I'm trying to get my landlord to kick us out early. And if he does, we'll be here this summer. We're ready to move. So anybody else? Yes. Good question. What's the difference between a C Corp and an S Corp? An S Corporation is what we call a pass-through entity. So it has the protection and the structure of a corporation, but whatever that company makes passes through to your personal tax return and you pay taxes on it. So it's only taxed once. A C corporation pays its own taxes. It's a separate taxed entity and pays its own taxes. Now it has a lower tax rate. And I'm glad you brought that up, because some people who have a financed business, you have debt. Well, you want to have as much money left over after making it to pay your debt. So if you use a C corporation, let it pay taxes at lower rates, then you have more money left over to keep paying that debt, and you can convert to S corporation later. Anybody else? Does that help? Okay. Anybody else? No, he's just scratching. So great. I think we hit the time mark. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Steve. Now I would like to introduce Judy Mahan. We were very fortunate to have Judy serve on the Chamber Board of Directors. She is the director of the Cal Poly Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship and the Small Business Development Center. Welcome, Judy.
Well, just keeping track of the time. Oh,
Can we get you on Zoom? It's fine.
oh, right. Good morning, everyone. Good to see everyone. So it's just a 5-minute slot. So I'm going to, I thought you'd be best served by me explaining the services that we have to offer and how it fits into supporting your the financial side of your business. And do I click? Oh, okay. Thank you so much. So we're the what's relevant to this group is the Small Business Development Center that we run out of the Hot House in downtown San Luis Obispo. But our services, we serve the entire county of San Luis Obispo. Most of our consultant meetings with business owners are happening on Zoom. You don't have to go into SLO to meet our consultants. So lots of programs that are focused on students, but what I oversee is all the programming for the business community out of the Hot House. We do offer co-working in our space downtown. So if anyone wants office space, desk space, we offer that. We have about 60, 70 coworkers who are with us on a monthly basis. It's just a good network of people. We run an incubator program for startups. So if anyone is in a startup, launching a startup, has a business idea, that's a great place to come. It's a 2-year program, and we work with you every single day. So there's daily support by your lead mentor to help you launch your new venture. We have about 20 startups in the program at any given time. And then most importantly is the Small Business Development Center. So the next slide, please. So through that, there are about 1,000 SBDCs throughout the US. We're very lucky to have this one in SLO. And through the SBDC, so we do a lot of workshops and trainings that's open to anyone. Anyone can come attend a workshop. Right now, we have one coming up on customer development. We do a lot of workshops on QuickBooks, setting up your QuickBooks. There's a beginner, intermediate, advanced class. So where there's a facilitator who's QuickBooks certified. So you come with your laptop, you will actually explain how to troubleshoot with QuickBooks for your business, and lots of other examples. But really what is more important here is, as a business owner, we have consultants who will sit with you for an hour at a time as often as you need them. It's completely free to business owners. We're very well funded by the SBA, by the state, by the county, by the city. We have donors. So we use all that funding to pay our consultants to work one-on-one with you. So next slide, please. And so where can we help? So if you're a business trying to get a loan, one of the first things you'll need to work on is a business plan. So we have a lead consultant who will sit down with you. Here's some of our lead consultants. And then they have expertise in specific industries. So if you're in hospitality, we have a food and beverage expert, restaurant expert. Mitch is a software. He's more, tech expert, but they will help you elaborate your entire business plan to then be able to submit to the bank. So that's one thing. We also have CFOs available. So if you need to figure out profit and loss statements, financial projections, which is also, those are also items the bank will ask for if you're trying to get a loan. So we can help you and walk you through all the elements that you need to have a really solid package to submit to the bank. Next slide, please. And we also offer, so I talked about all the training sessions, workshops, the one-on-one consulting, but we have open office hours. Through open office hours, that's where you can connect with the experts who typically charge a higher hourly rate. They're not really interested in being, day-to-day consultants because they're running their own businesses, but they'll donate a couple hours a month. So we have attorneys, corporate attorneys who are available every single month. You book a 20-minute slot and you can ask them all your questions about, should I be setting up an LLC or a C Corp or an S Corp? We have accountants as well. And so they're here just to guide, advise. At some point, we'll let you know, once you need someone to actually do the work, then you need to hire the right expert to actually do the work. But until you're ready for that, we have all these experts who can just help you line up your ducks and be ready to then make the hire that you need to make to either set up your LLC or get your taxes done properly. So that's available to anyone who signs up with us. And again, it's all, I know everyone's like, what? There's no cost to this? What? It's actually, these are your taxpayer dollars at work to help the business community. Next slide, please. So this is a nice batch of our consultants. We have 35 consultants available. So even in things like, engineering, prototyping, digital marketing. So that's a very popular request. A lot of people need help with marketing, especially social media marketing. What we also offer, so I'm not here to, I feel bad because I'm not here to plug what we do, but I just really want to, this is all the support you can get to move forward in your business. We work a lot with professors at Cal Poly. Sometimes we can get you a student team to actually work on your marketing plan for 3 months or 6 months. So we try to offer that as much as we can. The students love it because they get to work with a local business, especially if it's one of their favorite local coffee shops, or they're super stoked to support the business and do that work. And then they get class credit for the work. Next slide, please. And some of our milestones, 2023. So we worked with about 550 local businesses throughout the county. We helped these companies raise 16.6 million in capital funding. So that's bank loans, grants. If anyone is looking for grants, we have a grant expert, federal, who is able to track and work with every federal agency you can think of that exists in the US. They can get into the online systems to figure out if there are grants that could apply to support your business. Grants are awesome. No strings attached. You don't have to pay them back. There's no interest. There's no equity. You don't have to give them shares in your business. Grants are awesome. And also angel, investor funding. So for those of you who might be involved in more of a tech type startup, connecting with local investors, we help facilitate that as well. So we supported close to 3,000 jobs, and 2,600 people attended our workshops and events and so on and so forth. So that's just a little update on what we did last year. And I think that's the next slide, please, Jody. I think that's the last one. Yeah, I'm not going to get too much in the weeds on the incubator program, but we do have a focus on mostly ag tech, clean tech, med tech. Aerospace is a tougher one for us, we're realizing, but lots of support for anyone who's in those specific industries. We have very specific resources to support that. Next slide. I think that's it. Great. So open to questions, but my point is here, when you are getting ready to for financing for your business, lots of options. We can help with the bank lending process. And then the SBA. So we don't offer loans, even though we're funded by the SBA, and the SBA doesn't either, but they partner with banks. The bank gives you the loan, but the SBA acts as a guarantor. So there's some awesome SBA products that are supported by the banks that are very beneficial to businesses. We can certainly support with that if you're looking for a loan. And like I said, there's other options like grants, like, private investment. And so depending on what you're trying to accomplish will help guide you along one of those paths with all the elements that you need to support your what you're trying to do. Yes, Don.
Well, first of all, a big thank you to you for the leadership you've given over the years.
Thank you, Don.
How this has grown and evolved and the services that are offered.
Thank you.
Love it. So kudos to you for your leadership in that.
Thank you so much.
I know there's been discussion from time to time about actually having a clean tech kind of
Yes.
focus here
Yeah.
in Morro Bay. I'm wondering if that's still on the table. What would be needed for that to move forward? Because I think this community would really benefit.
Yes.
If people viewed it as a hub for some
Yeah.
focus.
Yeah. And so that was kind of my vision when we started hearing about the wind farm. I thought, okay, great, and the battery storage space. And so, but it always takes longer, right? Always. So the idea was, and I know the chamber in the past has tried to set up co-working. And so I feel like it's timing. So yes, and all those elements come together. I would love to support that. We're trying to, and there's a specific reason for it. You're right, creating a hub. So once we have battery storage, once we have the wind farm, there's going to be operators, maintenance, and skilled talent in those clean tech type of industries. And you have to be able to offer other options, such as clean tech startups. If we had a co-working space with, half a dozen clean tech startups, someone comes, they're working for battery storage, they decide, okay, I've been there for a couple of years, I want to explore something else. There's an opportunity to become a co-founder with a startup. And then that's how you start, developing that ecosystem. So I think, yes, it totally makes sense once we get a little closer to actually seeing things come about. Once that talent starts locating here on the coast, then we are more than excited and ready and supportive to try and make something happen on the coast to be part of that and to stimulate that industry here. Yeah. It's still super early stage. Mm-hmm.
Take care of projects.
Yeah.
That they think of being here, versus they're going to live in Paso.
Right.
Great to have more kind of household kind of jobs.
Oh yeah.
Your jobs happening here
on the coast. Yeah. And I think from experience, so we started all this about 13, 14 years ago, and so I was lucky enough to be there from day one and see the evolution. And from my experience, you need that beacon company or the beacon startup. You need that to get things going. So I feel like, unfortunately, yeah. And until we get one of these larger clean tech companies somewhat established here locally, it's going to be hard to sort of build the pipeline quite yet. But we're ready for it. We want to do it. It would be amazing to support that. So the vision's there. But yeah, I think it's going to take time.
It's been around for 13 years, but the names have changed. You said it evolved. Kind of tell us the names that the business was before.
Yeah. So we've always been the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center, always hosted by Cal Poly. So every SBDC has a host. And so we've actually always been the Cal Poly CIE SBDC. But this one is confusion. So our space downtown is called the Hot House. And people ask, well, what's the Hot House? What's SBDC? What's CIE? CIE is the umbrella organization, lots of programming on campus. And then all of our programming for the business community falls under CIE. CIE is a Cal Poly center. It's campus wide. And we do all these activities under that center. But I need to reiterate very, very highlight this, we support the business community. I do not work with students. I don't, I'm not too interested in them until they start a business. My passion is economic development. I want to see people start businesses and thrive here locally. So that's all I care about. And the hot house is just the name of the place. It's just someone came up with this cool name at the start, and sometimes there's confusion around that. Yeah. Yes. Yes, thank you for that. sbdc.calpoly.edu. All the info is on there, all of our workshops, signing up as a client, again, totally free. We don't use your data for anything, promise. We do aggregate data when we report the numbers I shared. So that's something we have to report to the SBA every year, but it's all aggregated. Yeah. Yes.
Do you help with like expansion or startup and make?
Oh, great question. So through the SBC, we work with startups, small to medium sized to very large scaling businesses. So we work with every business. We have businesses that have 100+ employees, dozen employees, and who are, what we call Main Street business. So not necessarily every industry, every type of business. It doesn't have to be a startup. The incubator, where you're with us in our space for 2 years, where we just have 20 companies, those are just tech startups. But that's one program that we run amongst everything else. Yeah. I think there's one. I have to stop. Okay.
So informative. Thank you so much. We did go off a little bit. Thank you, Judy. And she will be still here after if you guys have more questions. Sorry to cut her off like that. Great presentation. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Lisa. Why Ray? Ray, just Ray. Hey, Ray. Decorative. That makes... All right. And she's from Mechanics Bake. Thank you for coming.
Have anything super big prepared. I'm Lisa Ray. I started working here about a year and a half ago, so I'm pretty new to the area. I represent Mechanics Bank, which is just down the street. We're one of your local banks, and we're hoping that we'll be your local bank. We do offer all sorts of business solutions. We work with CPAs, we work with all types of industries, but we offer solutions for any business, and the solutions could be different depending on what you need. We offer the loans, we offer working capital, lines of credit, we offer equipment loans, expansion loans, commercial real estate, if you're looking to purchase wherever your business is and stuff like that. But besides just loans, we offer your accounts for the corporations, the S Corps, the LLCs, the partnerships, the sole props. We have Julie, who's our business banker. She's very familiar with opening these accounts. She's been in the community for over 20 years. So I'm sure the people who do bank at Mechanics Bank know her. I don't know. Julie, do you have anything to say about opening accounts? Just make an appointment. She's always busy. Besides that, we offer solutions for like your payroll, or if you take credit cards and you need a credit card processor, we have Clover, and they are always running specials. So if you're a restaurant, I know that they're coming out with a new kiosk where you can, just type in, what you want. The customer will just go to the kiosk and pick what they want to order, and it'll automatically shoot it off to the kitchen, and then they can pay right at that kiosk. So there's all sorts of solutions that we can offer for your business, depending on what type it is. Bigger businesses, you might need payroll services. We have Paychecks. We partner with them. They'll do all the payroll, the human resources. If you need 401k services, we also offer HSAs, health savings accounts for some of your sole proprietorships that are looking for a health care. So an HSA would be an option for you, and we can offer those. Besides that, just your everyday deposits and withdrawals, we have solutions for that too. If you are very check intensive, we might want to put you on a program where you have your own check scanner and we can deposit that directly into your account. You might want ACH services so that you could pay your vendors through an ACH as opposed to a check, which is much more secure because I know there's a lot of fraud going out there. We have solutions for fraud. I've been told recently that there's a big check fraud ring going around in California. They're stealing checks and they're washing them. I don't know if you know what washing is, but that's where they take off the payee and change the name of the payee or change the dollar amount. And they're depositing it into the criminal's account. You're not noticing it because it's a legitimate check that you wrote. And unfortunately, I've heard some bad news that some of the big banks are now denying claims. So even though it is not your fault, if they don't have the funds to recover for you, your claim is getting denied. So a very big product that we have is what we call positive pay. So what positive pay is, you upload a list of all the checks that you legitimately wrote, and we have to verify that that check has been written by you before it gets paid. So that is one of the services we offer in-house. We also, yeah, there's just so many different types of solutions and so many different types of products. I don't really know how to list all of them. I brought a brochure of the stuff that we generally offer or that people are interested, but there's more in depth about each product. We offer investment services, trusts, personal accounts, credit cards. I don't know what else you need. Sure. Any questions? Sure. We're Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
On Saturdays for a few hours.
That was a victim of COVID. So I don't see that coming back. Any other questions? Oh, thank you.
Thank you. I will also say that I personally have been affected by the check fraud. One of my renters sent us a check and it was intercepted by fraud, and they wrote a 1 in front of a 2, and now I'm still waiting for my rent. So it's here in Morro Bay. And I think that what you guys have established for that is going to be the next stage of what people need to accomplish, because there were like 7 checks that the person wrote that were all intercepted. And now his account's on hold for 3 weeks so far. So, all right, where are we? So I would like to introduce our chamber members, Bob and Gail, or Bob Gale. Bob Gale, sorry. See, where's my drum, Ray? With reverse mortgage.
Good morning. I'm Bob Gale, reverse mortgage specialist. I moved here to the Central Coast back in 1989, and I'm sure glad that I did. It's a wonderful lifestyle up here. And I decided to go into reverse mortgage in 1995 because I thought it would be a good career, and it has been interesting and adventurous. So today I'm going to discuss reverse mortgages and what they are, how they work, and some of their usages, and then entertain any questions. That light's following me. Okay.
You're following it.
Okay. Now, a reverse mortgage is a special home loan for homeowners over the age of 62. It enables them to tap into part of their equity in a variety of ways. For example, They could take out a lump sum of cash for any purpose, such as paying off existing liens or mortgages, or a divorcing spouse if they want to keep the home. Or they could choose monthly income that they could not outlive, insured by the government, or they could choose an available growing line of credit where they take the money they want when they want it, or any combination of these flexible cash advance options. The other side of the coin and the beauty of the reverse mortgage is the homeowners do not have to make monthly mortgage payments. No repayment at all is required until all of the homeowners have permanently vacated the home. And then at that time, they or their heirs pay back the reverse mortgage any way they want. Typically, the heirs would sell the property and all of the equity would be theirs to divide up as they see fit. Now, the amount of money that homeowners qualify for with a reverse mortgage depends on a formula that factors in their age, and the older they are, the more they qualify for. It's actuarially based like life insurance. A 92-year-old can qualify for more reverse mortgage than a 62-year-old. Of course, the appraised value of the home is a factor. The more the home appraises for, the more they can obtain. And are there any questions? If you have any questions, feel free to. Yes. Yes. The question is, does the reverse mortgage have to be a residential property? Yes, it must be an FHA approved single to 4 unit property, owner occupied primary residence. Good question. Yes. I have a little story for you. It involves a violinist, a violin virtuoso living in America who truly believed that he could play so well that he could actually charm a savage beast. Despite the warnings and pleas of his family and friends, he decided he would go to deepest Africa unarmed with only his violin. He stood in a clearing in the dense jungle and began to play. An elephant caught his scent and came charging towards him, but when it came within hearing distance, it sat down to listen to the beautiful music. Soon a lion appeared and also succumbed to the music. Before long, many wild animals were seated around the virtuoso. He played on unharmed. Just then, a leopard leapt from a nearby tree onto the violinist and devoured him. As he stood licking his chops, the other animals approached and said, "Why did you do that? The man was playing such beautiful music." The leopard, cupping his ear, said, "Eh, what did you say?" So you see, no matter how beautiful it is, and how beautiful the music is, if you don't hear it, it doesn't mean a thing. Similarly, no matter how useful the reverse mortgage program is to somebody who might need it, if they don't hear about it or learn about it, it won't do a thing to the quality of their life. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. My contact information is on my business cards on the table. Thank you.
Thank you. I love that story. Okay, so thank you, Bob. Our last speaker is from one of our breakfasts. Is from our Vicky and Pat Mitchell. You like that? Could you please come to the counter? They are also the hosts of our breakfast this morning. So welcome, Vicky and Pat.
Hi, everybody. I'm Pat Mitchell, and this is my wife, Vicky. We're the owners of the Human Bean in Morro Bay. You want me to put it up a little bit? Good job. We've lived in the area for about 7-8 years now. We've owned property here for 15 years. Originally, I had a food manufacturing business up in Northern California, and I sold that in 2018. And then we moved this way, and we bought a piece of property here, planted some grapes, and eventually built a house here. We just absolutely love it here. I mean, it's a great place. Being the type of person that can't retire, we started a couple human beings. Our first one was in Atascadero. The second one we opened was in Morro Bay, and then a couple of years later we opened one in Templeton and Clovis. We originally thought we were going to be passive investors in these, and somebody else was going to run it, and didn't work out very well for us. So about a year ago, we became fully involved in the business. And the first thing we did was we purchased 5 more of them in Tulare County from a guy that wanted to retire. And now, mind you, this guy's about 10 years younger than I am. So, but you know, it's just never been my intention to retire. So I'll keep doing this till I drop, I guess. One of the things that we really realized when we got involved in the business was that we really wanted to be in the community, you know, so we're in each one of these communities, and we get involved with a lot of programs within the community. We do a lot of high school programs. We show up at a lot of fairs and shows, and, you know, we sample our products. And the other thing we realized was that we wanted to partner with local restaurants. And so what we did just recently was we brought on baked goods, which you tasted today, from Back Porch Bakery. And then we also got somebody to build burritos for us. And that's a company out of Tascadero, Sylvester's. Probably a lot of you here know who Sylvester's is. They do a great job on them. And we supply all 9 of our stores with the Sylvester's burritos. And, you know, they're going very, very well. But, you know, the one thing that we really believe in is that we need to all support each other, you know, and so that's the real reason we realized that we could get, you know, locally sourced foods and, you know, offer a better quality product to people, and at the same time support them, and they in turn support us. So, you know, I just think it's a real important thing, you know, as you look around to other people in the business community, you know, how can we support each other? You know, that's about all I have to say. You have anything else?
I do. We are doing a lot of community outreach, and as Pat mentioned, we're trying to reach out to the schools and other organizations. We actually do a program called the Guest Barista Program, where, say, a school or organization can come in for a 2-hour stint and be our guest baristas. We do all the work and let them interact with the people in the car, hand out drinks through the window. And during that 2-hour period, they get all the tips they collect, and then we give them 10% of our net day sales. So, you know, it's a nice fundraiser for organizations that, you know, qualify, and it's one of our ways of getting back to the community. And as Pat said, we're really trying to show that we are part of the community, because we are. We're locally owned and operated, and so we're trying to spread the word that we are here as locals, and we are your local coffee shop, and would appreciate seeing you there.
Yeah, you know, and you know, just giving an idea of an event we did about a week ago in Tulare. We did Coffee with a Cop, and these guys just had a ball. You know, we had policemen inside serving product, you know, and they're running out to the cars. But you know, it's really cool to, you know, think that you can get involved with a community and engage people, you know, and everybody can support each other.
One of the high schools, they had their whole varsity football squad come out, and their varsity cheerleader squad come out, and they were doing cheers and stunts on the sidewalk and trying to get cars to come in. And I mean, they killed it that day. They really did it. So we are part of your community,
Yeah.
and hope to see you.
Thank you.
So I'm going to be real quick. I just wanted to let you know that we have our gala coming up in just a couple of weeks. And if you haven't already heard, we have John Elliott has been our Citizen of the Year. Ed Frawley is our living treasure. John is also on our Zoom right now. Ed Frawley is our living treasure.
Infinite Music is Nonprofit of the Year. And then we have Dutchman's Seafood House as our Business of the Year. And so we do still have tickets available, so get them now before they're gone. And we actually still have a couple sponsorship opportunities if anybody's interested. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you, Jody. Now we would like to give our new members an opportunity to introduce themselves. If this is your first Breakfast on the Bay and you are a new member, please stand and tell us about your business. All right. Oh, yes. Yay. Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. Do we have any other announcements from our guests today that anybody would like to say, any current events or? And then feel free to go and talk to any of the speakers and ask any questions that you weren't able to ask or didn't want to ask out loud. And thank you so very much, you guys. Have a wonderful Wednesday.